Life hands you struggle. It gives you problems. It tests you. And
from a small town, making a humble living by selling butter to a wealthy shop owner named Mark in the city. Every week, John delivered 1 kilogram of butter, and in exchange, Mark would give him groceries, sugar, rice, pulses, and other essentials. It was a quiet, unspoken arrangement. But one day, Mark decided to weigh the butter himself, and to his surprise, the butter weighed only 900 grams, not the full kilogram he expected. Mark's anger boiled over. He felt deceived and believed John had been cheating him all this time. When John arrived the next week to deliver his usual supply, Mark's fury erupted. He accused John of dishonesty and demanded he leave the shop, refusing to do business with someone he thought was a thief. John stood still, his heart heavy, but he didn't argue or raise his voice. Instead, he quietly explained the truth. He admitted that he didn't have the money to buy a proper scale. Decided to weigh the butter himself. Every week, to his surprise, the 1 kilogram of sugar Mark gave him, not place it on one side of his scale. Mark balanced the butter on the other. He never intended to cheat and believed John to return exactly what he had received. When John arrived the next week to deliver his usual supply, Mark's fury erupted. He accused John with someone he thought was a thief. John stood still. He married the most beautiful girl he had ever seen. Her laughter was music, her smile was song. He adored her completely, but time had its ways. A rare skin disease crept in, slowly stealing her beauty. Spots appeared, scars spread. The face he once knew began to change. Then, another blow. On a work trip, the man was involved in an accident and lost his eyesight. Blinded, he returned home. But life continued as normal. She guided him, cared for him, and he loved her just the same. As her appearance changed further, he never said a word, never flinched, never turned away. He smiled, held her hand, and loved her like nothing had changed. Years passed, and one day she died. Grief hit him like a wave. He completed her final rites with quiet. But then something happened. He stood up and walked away without a cane, without help, because he was never blind. He had seen every scar, every change, her beauty, but he chose love here. Scars. He pretended not to see, so she would never suffer the heartbreak of watching his love fade with her beauty. On a work trip, the man was in love isn't about perfection. It's about embracing flaws, protecting each other's peace, and choosing the soul over the skin every single time. Every Saturday, the village came alive with joy, but no one really knew the reason why. In that quiet village, an old tailor worked silently in a small wooden shop. He was the only tailor around, stitching clothes for everyone day after day. Just across the market, the village's only meat seller did something special. Every Saturday, he handed out free meat to the villagers. Children laughed, families smiled, and the people praised him for his generosity. Then one day, a man visited the old tailor and accused him of being selfish. He said the tailor should give money to people too, just like the meat seller gives meat every weekend. The old man didn't argue. He only shook his head, but the man left angrily. And soon, he began telling others that the tailor was stingy. He warned people to stop supporting him. Slowly, the village turned away from the old man. A few days later, the tailor fell ill. No one visited, no one asked. And without a sound, he passed away. When Saturday came, the villagers gathered at the meat seller's stall as usual. But this time, he had nothing to give. With sadness in his voice, he told them the truth. The man who had been giving him money every week to share meat was gone. The tailor was the real giver all along. That was the moment the village fell silent. They had judged a man without knowing the truth. Not all kindness is loud. Some people give in secret without asking for recognition. So before you judge someone's silence, remember, some of the kindest hearts stay hidden. The sea rages violently, waves crashing against a wooden ship tossed helpless. The sky is dark, filled with thunder and lightning, as terrified sailors throwing in a desperate attempt to save themselves are drowned by the howling winds, but nothing seems to calm the raging sea. Below deck, completely unaware of the chaos above, Jonah is fast asleep, snoring peacefully. His escape plan is going perfectly, or so he thinks. Suddenly, a sailor bursts in, shaking him awake in pure panic. The storm is getting worse, and they believe someone on board has angered the gods. The crew quickly casts lots, an ancient method to find the guilty party, and, to no one's surprise, the blame falls on Jonah. Now, fully awake and realizing he can't hide anymore, Jonah hesitates before admitting the truth. He is running from God. The sailors are horrified. They realize this storm isn't natural. It's divine punishment. The waves crash harder, the ship tilts dangerously, and they know they have no choice. Jonah tells them to throw him into the sea, and though reluctant at first, the moment they release him into the raging waters, the storm stops instantly. The sailors watch in shock. Did it really work? Is it over? But deep beneath the surface, Jonah drifts in the now calm ocean, staring up at the light above. For a moment he thinks he's safe, but then a massive shadow looms over him. A monstrous whale, larger than anything he's ever seen, emerges from the depths. Before he can react, its jaws open wide, and in an instant, Jonah is swallowed whole. Inside the belly of the great fish, Jonah finds himself surrounded by darkness, the dim glow of bioluminescent fish, his only light. The reality of his situation sets in. The walls of the beast's stomach press around him. The air is thick and humid, and the distant rumbling of the ocean reminds him just how deep below the surface he is. He is trapped, helpless, and completely at the mercy of the God he tried to escape. There, in the depths of the sea, Jonah finally understands. He was never in control. Running was never an option. With nowhere left to go, he kneels in the darkness, hands trembling, and prays. He admits his mistake, begs for mercy, and promises to obey. For 3 long days, he remains inside the whale, waiting, reflecting, surrendering. And then, at last, the great fish rises near the shore, its massive body shifting uncomfortably. A deep, guttural groan echoes through its belly as it lurches forward. Jonah barely has time to brace himself before the beast heaves, and in one powerful motion, he is sent soaring through the air. He crashes onto the shore, tumbling across the wet sand, coughing up seawater. The weight of his ordeal still lingers in his limbs. His body is weak. His clothes are tattered, and the strong scent of fish clings to him. He lies there for a moment, breathing heavily, staring up at the sky, the same sky he once tried to escape beneath. Then slowly, he turns his head. In the distance, far beyond the rolling hills and stretching sands, lies Nineveh, the city he swore he'd never go to, the city he tried to outrun. Jonah exhales, dragging himself to his feet. His legs ache. His mind is exhausted, but there is no turning back now. He brushes the sand from his skin, adjusts his torn robe, and takes the first step forward. His escape plan had failed spectacularly, but his mission? That was just beginning. As Jonah walks toward Nineveh, the lesson is clear. No one can outrun God's calling. Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. Psalm 139, 7-8.
It was the night of the Last Supper. Jesus sat with his disciples, breaking bread, knowing that one of them would soon betray him. "One of you will hand me over," he said, and the room fell silent. Judas, the one chosen for this dark task, quietly slipped away into the night. In the Garden of Gethsemane, Jesus prayed, his sweat like drops of blood. He knew what was coming: betrayal, suffering, and death. "Father, if it is possible, take this cup from me, but not my will, but yours be done." Moments later, torches flickered in the darkness. Judas arrived with soldiers, sealing his betrayal with a kiss. Jesus was arrested. Dragged before the high priest, Caiaphas, Jesus was falsely accused. They spat at him, struck him, and mocked him. But Jesus remained silent. Taken to Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor, he was questioned. "Are you the king of the Jews?" Pilate asked. "My kingdom is not of this world," Jesus replied. Pilate found no fault in him, but the crowd shouted, "Crucify him." Beaten, whipped, and forced to carry his own cross, Jesus stumbled through the streets of Jerusalem. Soldiers drove nails through his hands and feet, lifting him upon the cross at Golgotha. As he hung in agony, darkness covered the land. "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do," he prayed. Then, at the 9th hour, he cried out, "It is finished," and took his last breath. The earth shook. The temple curtain tore from top to bottom. The Roman centurion, witnessing it all, gasped, "Truly, this man was the Son of God." 3 days later, his tomb was empty. An angel declared, "He is not here. He has risen." Jesus' sacrifice was not the end. It was the beginning of grace, forgiveness, and salvation. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life."
He sat on cold concrete steps, a blind boy, holding a sign that read, "I am blind, please help." Beside him, a hat with only a few coins. People passed, barely noticing. Then a man stopped. He didn't speak. He dropped some coins into the hat, picked up the sign, flipped it over, and think differently. Speak meaningfully. And remember, perspective changes everything. She had feathers that shimmered like sunlight through leaves, and a heart as gentle as the morning breeze, but she carried a habit, one that no one else understood. Every day, no matter what she saw, felt, or heard, she wrote it down on a small stone. A laugh shared, a tear shed, a lesson learned. Each one became a memory carved in silence. She believed memory